This is going to be two in one video, and as much as I would have loved to express myself in my local dialect, which is Yoruba, but for the purpose of other Africans who don't understand my language, I will express myself in English. Concerning the xenophobic, whatever, going on in South Africa, that our own brothers and sisters will be killing us on the streets, and yet their government didn't say anything. And that is on the soil of Africa, in African continent. And when we were growing up, we had several advantages of physical education and being involved in sports listed how to us. One of which was cooperation, enhancement of social development, and inter-relationship development, and all of that. And it was so, in all fairness, that if my school was going to play against another school, it was through the soccer competition, soccer games, that we will get to know one another. We will exchange contacts and everything. It was beautiful. But what do we see today? We will see a country, an African country like South Africa. If you're asking other Africans to leave your country peacefully, nobody would budge, because every African country leader should see that there are jobs in their country. After all, we have resources all over African continent. But that you will be maltreating other Africans on your streets, like as if they are nothing, like they are dogs, like they are nothing. You kill them in a way that if somebody had said this will happen like 10 years, 15, 20 years ago, one will have sworn with his life that never will it happen on African continent. But this is what we are having. The leaders are kept mute. They are not saying anything. But look at the game these African leaders are playing with our lives. Look at it. It is one thing that they will never allow easy passage from one African country into another without going through stress. And yet we have the African Union, just the same way we have European Union. And if you have passport of one of the European countries, you can use train, you can use whatever means of transportation to go into any of the other European countries. It is one thing that these African leaders, because of their wickedness, will never look into why African nations are divided. We started killing one another. They kept mute. But the same African leaders will see to it that we are playing qualification games so that we can all attend African Cup of Nations. Where is that advantage listed out to us in the 70s and the 80s, that sports will always enhance interpersonal relationships and cooperation, and it brings peace, when the opposite is what is happening in our world today? Why do we have African Cup of Nations if our leaders are not ready to foster very good interpersonal relationships amidst all African continent, amidst all African countries? And we, the citizens, we sit down on this keg of gunpowder, acting as though everything is okay. So it is not even the leaders that are the problems now, but we Africans who don't even know our right from left. That is, by the way, because I said it would be two in one video. Then look at what is happening. The North American World Cup. That a Somalian referee, well recognized all over the world, will get to a place like the US and he was refused visa. He was interrogated for several hours because of his name. Imagine the rudiment, imagine the humiliation some African teams were made to go through. Imagine the humiliation. And when they come to other places to play such games, they are treated as kings and queens. Where is that advantage of physical education listed out to us several years ago? Where is it in our world today? But instead of the whole world to stop and ask questions, all we are concerned about is those few minutes of enjoyment, few minutes of just crying and shouting, go, or whatever nonsense we're doing. We're acting as if it doesn't concern us. In the first place, in a world where injustice to one is injustice to all, should such World Cup be well attended or be avoided? I'm asking. And finally, I will say this but only once. Today, you African leaders have the ball in your courts to be able to do that which the past leaders were not able to achieve, even though some past African leaders gave up their lives for African Union to be effective. But today you have the balls in your courts. The question I'm going to be asking is, what exactly are you people doing to make sure that you achieve what should be achieved to make African continent to be where it's supposed to be? Some of you will be carried away by what former FIFA president was saying, that he was condemning. How many years has racism been involved in all our sports? Has there anything that's been done to curb that, even when that madman was FIFA president? No. How many of you remember how many black players have been humiliated, thrown bananas at, called different names while on the pitch of play? I'm asking now, be answering me. So what am I trying to say? These world leaders, wherever they are, wherever the continent, wherever the nation, they are all working together to make sure that they keep controlling us with these useless sports. And that is why you see sport guys, athletes being paid more than medical practitioners. And we are also allowing it. We are accepting it as a norm. How many of you have been on the waiting list to see a specialist? For months you have not been able to see, because the population of these medical practitioners is declining so fast. But we have leaders that we are supporting who are paying millions of dollars, millions of euros, millions of pounds to athletes that we go to watch for a few minutes to come back into our predicaments. We're a generation of useless hypocrites, if I could call it that. So the next time you're going to be watching game, note that you are part of the problem this world is having. I won't say much more than that. Bye.